Hey guys, this is Laura Ginger. I'm one of the reference librarians here at ALU, and this tutorial is for students in the SPED 6323 Behavior Analysis and Intervention class with Dr. Williams. We're going to go over some info that will help you with the literature review portion of your behavior modification program. We're going to look at the library website and specifically the Psych Research Starter. And we're going to go over how to use the databases as well. If you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me either via email or you can contact the library directly, and we can go over about how to reach me in just a second. Before I start, I'd like to take a look at the literature review outline in your assignment. So this is the course syllabus that everybody should have a copy of. And you can actually find information on writing the literature review portion of your behavior analysis project on page 8. So I'm going to go up to page 8. And so this is where part 3 right here is where the literature review expectations are outlined. You need to have all of your information in APA style. It looks like it needs to be between 4 and 6 pages, double spaced. And you'll submit it through Blackboard. And I think you need, yes, so it looks like you need at least 5 research articles that they need to be peer reviewed and published after 2010. So it looks like you can supplement articles that you find on the open web after you've reached the 5 research articles, but everything else you're going to need to actually access through the library databases. The syllabus has a couple things for you to consider when you're looking for articles. You can just go over these questions here if you're having some trouble. And I'd also like to point out that there is a lot of information on page 20, which is Appendix B. So this is some guidelines for writing a literature review. Dr. Williams told me that I don't think a lot of you have written them before, so this will be your first one. He's been very generous in providing a lot of good information and background for you to help start this. So some basic things that are covered on here is the actual definition of a literature review, how it differs from a research paper. There's some advice about picking a topic and finding relevant literature as well as evaluating that literature. And then there's some guidelines for organizing your literature review. And again, we've got some questions right here that you can use when you're evaluating the articles that you come across. I'd also like to point out that on page 17, there is a good list of journals that do publish this type of research. So you can refer back to this list when you're looking for your articles. And I think on the last page, there was some information about some possible sources. Yep, here we go. These are some good things to check out as well. I'd really like you guys to refer back to this as much as possible because it's already outlined for you very well. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the library website. So for those of you that have never used it before, this is basically just what the homepage looks like. And you can get there by going to library.alusa.edu. And also if you go to the main ALU page, which looks like this, you can scroll down and it will be, you can get to the library page by clicking this button under services. You don't need multiple windows, so I'm going to go back up to the top. There's a couple other things that you can find on here. You can use this one search bar, and this is to search all of our collections at once. So that's books, articles, media, anything that we have. So that's our print and electronic collections. This is the place to search everything at once. If you have questions or you need help with something, you can come over here. Under this Ask Us a Question section, there are a lot of tutorials, kind of an FAQ type page where you can go and see if you're having a question about Get It For Me, which is our interlibrary loan system. We've answered some of typical questions. So you can check to see if your question has already been answered on this page, or you can go ahead and fill this form out and we'll get back to you very quickly. Usually within 24 hours. Again, if you want to contact us directly, you can give us a call during our hours that we're open, and you can also send us an email at this library at alusa.edu, and we check that regularly. If you're just beginning work on your behavior modification program and you're looking for resources and you're on this website, you're going to come over to this research block here on the very left that I have my arrow over. And here you can access our journals by title by clicking here. I'm going to go ahead and open that page. And this is what it looks like. You can go ahead and go directly to psychology. And I'm going to click that. And then you can search if you're looking for a particular journal, kind of maybe one of the ones off of your syllabus list, this would be the place to search for those. And this article databases section is going to be all of the databases that we subscribe to. They're listed alphabetically, but if you want to, you can go ahead and sort them by subject. And so here's the ones that are going to be most relevant to psychology. It looks like we have 14, so I'm going to go ahead and click this. And here's a list and a little bit of a description about all of the databases that we have that are appropriate for psychology. I'm going to close this now. You can look at books and media. Books is going to take you to our library catalog. So it sounds like you guys need articles for this particular page, but if you do have a class in the future and you're looking specifically for books, you're going to go ahead and come to this catalog page. Again, you can search for anything just by using this one search bar at the top as well, but I'd like you to be aware of these things too for the future. Same with our ebook collection. You can access it under here, and it will open, and this is what it looks like. And again, you can go ahead and filter it by subject. So these are going to be all of our ebooks that fall under psychology, and again, you can search for a particular topic. I really want to talk to you guys about the research starters, so let's go ahead and look at that. Basically, a research starter explains what the best resources are for specific subjects or classes. We have them organized by subjects, but there's a couple of other ways you can access them too. So let's go ahead and go down to psychology. There is a general psychology research starter, and sometimes we have class-specific guides as well. So since it doesn't look like there is a particular guide for your class, you're just going to want to look at the general research starter. So I'm going to go ahead and open that, and this is what it looks like. So this is the home page of the research starter. Again, you're going to want to refer back to it as much as possible when you're looking for information for one of your classes. A little bit of information about this page. Got our contact information. I am actually the point of contact for psychology, so if you want to email me directly, you can go ahead and email me at lcginger@alusa.edu, which I have my mouse hovered over this. You want to actually find it on this page too. And you can also find any of our staff contact pages too under this library staff page on the home page. Anyway, this is, again, the research starter page. I have it broken down to all the topics that are covered in this actual guide, as well as some links to some services that may be appropriate for you guys when you're working on this project. So we have interlibrary loan, which is our, which we call Get It For Me, which is something that you can use if you're trying to access a book or an article that we don't actually have here at ALU. You can go ahead and fill out one of these forms really quickly. You can go ahead and here's some information about it, and you can log in and make a request for that. And we'll go ahead and ask another library to send it to us. So you'll either get an electronic copy if it's an article, or a book. If it's an article, it can take anywhere from a few days to a week, depending. If it's a print material, it'll probably take a little bit longer. So this is another reason that you'll probably want to go ahead and get started early. That way, if you do need to bring anything in from outside or make any kind of interlibrary loan request, you'll have enough time. Alright. This is a list of tutorials. If you have any questions with any of the library topics, you can go here. There's a lot of video tutorials that you can check out. If you run into any kind of tech issues while you're searching on our website, go ahead and use this tech troubleshooting link. And if your instructor has assigned any kind of course readings or reserves, then again, you'll be able to find it here. Okay, so this research starter is organized, so you can access the pages over here or also here directly. So there's information about choosing a topic, as well as finding particular types of resources right over here on these tabs. There's some information about making annotations, which may be helpful if you're trying to organize your information for your literature review. And finally, when you are at the point that you want to organize all your citations, you can go ahead and click this Citing an APA link, which is actually going to open a new tab. There is a lot of resources specifically for APA that you can access. We've got examples. There's APA Style Central, which is a great resource. And we also have some web resources here, like Purdue OWL, which I don't know if anyone's ever used, but it's a really great resource for citations. So pretty widely used. So let's talk a little bit about searching for your topic. So we're going to go to this page. It sounds like from what Dr. Williams has told me that everybody has a topic in mind that they've already decided to work with. But if you are at a point where you're a little unsure or something, then you can use some of these methods to try to get a good topic idea. There's also this APA tutorial, which is good for looking at formulating good research questions and hypotheses. Again, if you already have your topic, that's great. You can go ahead and try to come up with some keywords that are going to help you in your search. Keywords really help you get better search results when you're looking in the databases. Instead of taking an entire sentence or your entire research question and searching that all at once, you're going to want to break things down a little bit more. I have an example here if you'd like to look. And it sounds like your project is focused on a target behavior and then an intervention to modify that behavior. Those are going to be your keywords that you're using. For example, if I was conducting my project over praise as an intervention for disruptive classroom behavior, I would probably break that out by a couple different keywords. So I would have praise, intervention, disruptive behavior, and maybe classroom as my keywords that I would be looking at. Something that would be really helpful is to come up with related keywords. So you can either come up with narrower or broader terms, and this is going to help you cast kind of a wider net when you're looking for research, because you'll have better terminology and you can find more information that way. So some alternative keywords that I might use for praise would be maybe approval or encouragement. For intervention, I may want to use strategies or program. For disruptive behavior, there's a lot of alternative keywords and synonyms that would be helpful. So something like problem behavior, challenging behavior, negative behavior, anything like that would be another good related keyword to use. And with classroom, I might just want to use, school or learning environment, things like that. Another thing that you probably should consider is the population that you're working with. For instance, if you are working with children, then you may want to specify the age range, or you may want to broaden up, so you could use children or teenagers or adolescents, etc. So I want you to be thinking about your concepts, and once I have some keywords in mind that I'm going to search with, I'm going to go ahead and head over to the Find Articles portion of this research starter. This is a good list of all the resources that are going to help you find scholarly articles for your project. I have a journals list over here. There's a couple different journals for psychology, but then again, you can get a full list by clicking here, and it'll open up back to that page that we looked at the beginning of this tutorial. So if you want to search again for a journal, that is where you would go. Getting full text, here's a link to the Interlibrary Loan Service too, and there's also another video tutorial if you'd like to watch and get some information about that. Here, I've listed some things that you may want to search by and limit by, and that'll make a little bit more sense once we open up one of the databases and search in it. And a couple things to keep an eye out for. Here is a list of all of our databases for psychology. Again, it's like the subject list that we looked at from the home page. If you're not really sure what a database is, the best way to think of it is as like a specialized search engine for scholarly research. It's often organized around a particular subject area, but there are actually a few good generalized databases out there as well. Again, these are all the ones for psychology. You may want to check out a couple of these first and then move on. So some of them may be a little more helpful. It's just going to be up to you and your particular topic. So, Academic Search Complete is the best general one. All types of disciplines use it. It's a great resource. I really like it. And let's see, you may want to look at Google Scholar, which is really helpful too. And psych articles and psych info are really helpful as well. And you may want to check out Science Direct too. So just play around with these databases and get comfortable with them, and we'll go ahead and look at Academic Search Complete really quickly. So let me close out these tabs. I'm going to open Academic Search Complete. So this is what the interface looks like. We have this little EBSCO icon here on the left, and basically EBSCO is the company that owns Academic Search Complete. This is the company and this is the database, just so you know what you're actually searching in. And if I want, I can go ahead and click this little Choose Databases, because I may want to add a couple more to my search. I'm going to go ahead and pick a couple out. So let's do psych articles and psych info. We are also going to do ERIC, which is an education resource information. These little icons also just give me some info about the databases. But since the topic that I've chosen is more specifically focused around school-age children, I'm going to go ahead and click ERIC too to see if there's any information. Same with the Teacher Reference Center. Let me see if I'm going to add anything else. Again, you can kind of just pick and choose whichever source you like. So this is probably all the ones that I'm actually going to want to use this time. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And so now we can see that it's updated to add all the other databases that I want to search as well. I want you guys, before we enter our search terms, I want you to look at these search options too as well. So these search options help you kind of filter your results. You can go ahead and add as many specifications here on the page before you actually search. I usually like to do it afterwards so I can filter my search that way a little bit more. So let's go ahead and add our keywords. So again, our topic is praise intervention on disruptive classroom behavior. So I'm going to go ahead and put praise, and right here I can see that Academic Search Complete is prompting a couple other alternative keywords. So I'm going to do praise or positive reinforcement. And so what's going to happen with this is, since it's prompted that, it's going to search for materials that have both the term praise or positive reinforcement. So this OR was going to basically grab both of them. Let's do our next one, and that is intervention. Under here I see intervention or treatment or therapy or program or strategy. So let's go ahead and click that one. We can also do this if you'd like, but I'm going to add this one and see where we go with that. Again, this doesn't always populate. It really just depends on your keyword. So if you are putting your term in and you don't have anything prompted, that's totally fine. I don't want you to be worried about that. just something to pay attention to and use if this does show up for you. Let's see, we have disruptive behavior. So disruptive behavior. And under here we can see disruptive behavior problem or aggressive behavior or antisocial behavior or conduct disorder or externalization. So that's quite a lot. But you may want to go ahead. I'm actually going to do... No, I think I will do this. Let's look at this one. And before I actually move forward, I'm just going to go ahead and start with these search terms. And that's something I'd like you to do, is just play around with combinations too. If you're not having much luck searching everything at once, go ahead and take something off and see if that helps. Let's click search. Right away we have a pretty good chunk of articles, so that's, it's 1,800, give or take. Which is not bad to start with. But I'm going to go ahead over here and use these limiters because I don't really want to sift through 1,800 articles. Usually I don't really have that kind of time, and I want to make it a little easier for myself. So I'm going to say I only want to see things that we have full text access to. So I'm going to click this little button over here and see if you can tell the number dropped a little bit. I am also going to say, since I remember that my particular project only requires scholarly or peer-reviewed journal articles, I'm going to go ahead and click that as well. So see again, our number is dropping. So now we're at about 900. And then again, I know that I have to have articles that were published after 2010. So I'm going to click and on this little date space bar, and I'm going to enter 2010 on here and hit enter. And it's going to go ahead and update. So now I have about 357 articles that are using these terms that I have full text access to, that have appeared in scholarly or peer-reviewed journals, and that were published between 2010 and 2018. So this is a good place to start. Again, too, if you want to go ahead and use any kind of limiters down here, language is helpful. See, I don't speak Portuguese, so I'm going to go ahead and just click English, and that'll update it to articles that are actually published in English. You can always take a look at the subject, too, and if you're interested in a particular area, you can go ahead and click one of those as well. If at any time you want to take off one of the search things that you've added, one of the limiters, you can go ahead and click this X button. So if I suddenly learn Portuguese, I can go ahead and remove this. And it'll keep the original things, but see, it's removed the English setting. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and look at the articles that I have come up with. These look pretty good. I am going to go back and look at the first one, though, because that seems like it falls within my project specifications. So this is addressing problem behavior at recess using peer praise notes. So I'm going to go ahead and open this article up, and it looks like I still have all my search terms up here, and this is what the record looks like, basically, for a particular article. I have this detailed record thing, which is what we're looking at, all the information for this particular article. I also have this little full text finder icon, so let's go ahead and click that and see if I can get full text access to this article. Cool, so it looks like I can view this article in full text from Sage. So I'm going to click there. And this is going to take me to this actual article. So this is the article, and I can go ahead and read it here. I can download it or print it if I'd like to do that. Looks like it's about 12 pages. Let's go back and look at the record really quickly, because there are a couple things I'd like you guys to check out. So I'd like you to go ahead and pay attention to the authors section up here at the top. Typically people who are publishing in one topic probably have more research because this may be a subject area of theirs. So you may be able to click on Paul Calderella's name. And here here's all the articles that we have access to that he's authored. So again, I want you to notice that the limiters that we used on the previous search no longer used, but this is a good way to find more research written by a particular academic. So let's go back. And I can tell that this was from the Journal of Positive Behavior Interventions. That may be a good place for me to check because there'll probably be more articles on my particular topic. So if I wanted to... Oh, doesn't look like anything's happening there. So I can go ahead and click this journal, and this will find me more articles that are published in this particular journal. Let's go back. And again, peer-reviewed, yes, but I know that it's already peer-reviewed because I clicked the scholarly or peer-reviewed checkbox when I was doing my search. So that's something that you know that all your results are going to be peer-reviewed. Something really important I want you guys to pay attention to is this descriptors section. Sometimes it's called keywords, sometimes it's called author-supplied keywords, sometimes it's subjects. The language can vary a little bit, but really what this is all the keywords that these people are actually describing this research. And this is really helpful because you can find out the terms that people are actually using to describe this type of information, and this is going to help you find more research on these actual topics. And again, you can click any of them and get to more information. So if I really like positive reinforcement and I'm trying to find more information, I can click this, and these are all of the articles that we have that are in these databases that use positive reinforcement as a subject. So, see, there we go. It's highlighted and or it's bolded right here under subjects. So let's go back. Again, so this is a great place to look for keywords that you can add to your search. You may want to consider changing some of your search terms if you find a better one on some of these articles that you're looking for, but I just want you to pay attention to that. Also, the abstract is a really good thing to take note of. An abstract is going to save you from reading a 15-page research article and then realizing that it's not actually related to your topic. So this is just going to be a short summary of what the paper is about, so you can read through it and get an idea of whether or not it's relevant to your actual project. So always read the abstract before you jump into the actual article. Again, there's some more information about it, number of pages, where I accessed it. It looks like it came from Eric, that database, so that was an education one, which was helpful. And I can tell it was published in April 2017, so that fits my date parameters that were set. So let's look at this section here on the right, because these under tools. These are really helpful for when I want to save these articles or get back to them. So there's a little Google Drive button right here. You can add articles to your Google Drive if you'd like. If I click it, see, it'll say pop-up blocked. You'll have to make sure the EBSCO is taken off of your pop-up blocker, or else that won't work. Let's close that. I want you to notice that the add to folder and the save buttons really are only helpful if you have an EBSCO account and that you're signed into it. If not, all of these things will be erased as soon as you close the browser window. So if you want to save your searches and do some things like that, feel free to make an EBSCO account because it is free and you'll be able to access that information again. But I would say that it's probably a little more helpful to just email things to yourself. That way you have it in an email account that you use frequently and you can get back to it much quicker. So you can go ahead and add your actual email address. I'm going to go ahead and send it to myself. So this is my email address. I'm going to add it. I'm going to say this is about problem behavior praise. So this is really helpful. You can change the format. So it will send you, since I'm writing an APA, I'm going to want it to display an APA. So when this emails me the information for this record, it'll also contain the citation format. So I'm going to go ahead and send that to myself. And it'll probably show up in just a minute, which is great. And the citation page is very helpful. So if you go ahead and hit this little citation icon, again, I can get back to the citation that's appropriate for whatever citation format. See, there's my article. This is the APA citation for this article, and you can copy and paste it into your references page. Now, I want you to be able to don't just stop there, because sometimes these have errors, so you will have to go back and check all your references once you're done. So that's okay, because again, you can refer back to the citing an APA in the research starter, but this is a good shortcut, but again, you'll still need to go back and check. And let's see, share one more thing. So this permalink too is really helpful if you want to add this to your email. It's a static link, so I can get back to this particular page. So if I go ahead and click it, see, here I am. If I was just, and this is more helpful, if I just clicked and saved all of this at the top, it's not necessarily a stable link, so I may have an issue getting back to it. So that's a good way to, let me show you one more thing. So again, we have the article pulled up, and I want you to check in the references page of the article, which is at the very end. And here are all the references of articles and other research that is cited in this particular article. And this is really helpful because if you find an article that you like and that's really relevant to your project, chances are that they've already cited research that is going to be helpful to you as well. So this is a great place to look for relevant research that falls within your research topic. So I'm looking through here and I can see, a couple different things. Let's see, so here is teacher praise, what students want. That's from 94, so it's maybe a little too out of date. But let me look down here a little bit more. And so I scroll back up here and I see that there's a citation for an article called Decreasing Tardiness in Elementary School Students Using Teacher-Written Praise Notes, Intervention in School and Clinic. And this was published in 2011, so that is just under the wire, but that would fit within the parameters that were put out in terms of dates. So I could go ahead and look for that article as well to see if it follows up. And again, you should be able to find where it was cited in the article as well. Let's see, let me show you one more thing. Let me go back to our previous search. If you have something that has a PDF icon, you can click on it and you'll get the link to the PDF record, which is great, but it's great for another reason too, because if you email it to yourself, it will send you the PDF as a separate attachment. So you'll get the email with the information about the article, and it'll have the article ready for you as a PDF as well. So that is huge help. So I want you to pay attention to that and use it whenever possible. And let me show you one more thing. If I didn't have this full text limiter on here, let's go ahead and take it off. See, my number went up a little bit because now I have articles that I don't actually have full text access to. So if I thought that this article sounded like it was really relevant to my topic, I would want to use the Get It For Me. And so basically I would click that icon and it would prompt me to log on. Let's go ahead and log into mine really quickly. And you'll see that all the information about this article is already populated in here, which is great. So I can go ahead and submit this request form, and then somebody will get back to after we've gotten this article. That's something to consider if you find articles that you don't have access to and you would like to get a copy of something. Okay, so I think I covered pretty much everything that you're going to use with searching in the databases. If you have any questions at all, let me get back to this research starter too. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to contact me. You can go ahead and email me. If you're not finding good results or you're really stuck with finding good research for your paper, please reach out to me. We can go ahead and schedule an appointment if need be, or I can work with you. Anything that you guys need, let me know. Well, thanks for watching, and again, thanks to Dr. Williams for asking me to do this for you. And then, so thanks for watching this, and please go ahead and feel free to send me any questions that you may have. Thanks.